Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with potato chorizo mini quiche. That's right, we're doing a little bite-sized takeoff on the Spanish tortilla, not to be confused with the Mexican-style tortilla, which we wrap around stuff. This is basically a little baked omelet, a little frittata, and its ease of preparation and deliciousness makes it a perfect bite for any kind of party situation. So here we go. All right, we're going to start by dicing some chorizo. It's a cured Spanish sausage. It gets that glorious color from paprika. And all I'm going to do is cut it in half lengthwise, turn it on the flat side, cut it into a couple strips, and then cut it across into a beautiful small dice. And we want to keep these pieces kind of small because these are, of course, mini quiche. So you don't want them much bigger than that. And by the way, if you Merkins can't find chorizo, you could just use pepperoni. Pretty much any spicy cured dry sausage would work here. What about Slim Jims? What are you, high? Oh, you are? Okay, then that would work. When your sausage is diced, go ahead and throw that in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil. We're going to put the heat on medium-low, and we're just going to saute that for a few minutes to infuse that olive oil with that amazing chorizo flavor and also, even more importantly, that gorgeous orange paprika color. All right, so just give it a stir once in a while. We're going to cook that for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and that should be just about enough time to dice one potato. And if you can't find potato, we're going to use potato. So I have one peeled, medium-sized russet. I'm going to cut it in like 1/4-inch thick slices, and then each of those into like 1/4-inch thick strips. And then just like the sausage, you're going to turn it 90 degrees and give it a nice small dice. And you can do one at a time if you want, or you could double it up and do 2. Mathematically, that makes the work go twice as fast. And I'm sorry to mention math. I know a lot of you are afraid of math, and you have good reason to be. I'm pretty sure math invented the universe just so it could eventually kill us. But still, that doesn't change the fact that by doing 2, you can go quicker. And of course, if you wanted to add some diced onions to the mix, that would be fine and very traditional. I just didn't want these to be too sweet. All right, you could also add garlic, but I'm going to top mine with a little bit of garlic aioli. And yes, that is redundant. All right, once our potato is diced, we're going to go ahead and dump it into the pan. And I'm using a nice nonstick pan here. I don't want any issues with sticking potatoes. Turn the heat up to medium. We'll give it a big pinch of salt. And we're just going to simply cook those potatoes until tender. And how long is that going to take? I don't know, maybe about 10 minutes. It depends on the exact size of the dice, but you'll know because it will be smashable and or forkable. And of course, never use metal utensils in your nonstick pans, but I do because I have such an amazing touch that I can actually stab those tiny cubes of potato without going all the way through to the metal. It's true. It's on my resume. So once the potatoes are deemed tender, we're going to go ahead and transfer those onto a paper towel-lined plate. And that's going to absorb all that excess grease. Believe me, that stuff's so full flavored, we do not need any of the excess oil. So let that sit and cool and drain for about 10 minutes, and we'll move on to final assembly. All right, so let's go ahead and grate a little bit of Manchego cheese. Those beautiful marks there are made by the woven mold this cheese is aged in. Very cool. If you can't find Manchego, you could use something like an aged cheddar or an Asiago, pretty much anything. But it's really not hard to find at a cheese store. All right, so I'm going to grate some of that up. And then we're going to take our mini muffin tins, and you're like, hey, those don't look mini. Well, check it out. There you go, frame of reference. Those are small. All right, we're going to spray that with nonstick vegetable oil. We're going to put in a nice pinch of cheese at the bottom of each one, maybe half a teaspoon. I'm not good with measurements for stuff like this because it's just a pinch. Make sure you put enough, but don't put too much. Try to put in the perfect amount. That will work best. All right, once all the bottoms have a little bit of grated cheese, we're going to go ahead and take our now fully drained and cooled potato chorizo mixture and spoon it in. We're going to fill it up maybe 3/4 of the way. Do not pack it down. We're going to need nooks and crannies available for our egg mixture to fill. All right, so just spoon it in. And of course, you might have a little extra. That's not the worst thing that could ever happen. I made myself a little omelet, by the way. And once all that potato chorizo mixture is distributed, we're going to go ahead and do our egg mixture, which is so simple because it's basically just eggs. So I'm going to take some whole eggs. I'm going to add a pinch of cayenne, an even bigger pinch of salt. And then I want you to beat those eggs thoroughly. I want them completely liquefied. I don't want any separation between white and yolk. So give it a thorough beating. And then I like to take a little measuring cup and just fill those up right to the top. All right, maybe like 1/millionth of an inch from the top, but almost to the top. And then, very important, we have to give it the old tappa and the old shaka. If you have advanced skills, you could do the combination old shaka tappa, but you want to settle those down in case there's any air pockets. I'm going to carefully transfer those onto a baking sheet, and then we're going to top them with another pinch of our cheese, and those little beauties are ready for the oven. So we're going to put those in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 17 minutes. And what will happen is those will just barely be firm to the touch. If the centers seem a little liquidy, let them go another minute or 2. But after about 17 minutes, they should be just about set. All right, don't be scared to touch them. You won't break them. You might burn your finger, but you won't hurt the quiche. And of course, you're going to want to let these cool a little bit before you eat one, even though I'm not going to. And then once they cool down for a few minutes and you can handle them, you're going to put them on some kind of serving tray. I'm going to top mine with a little bit of aioli, a little bit of fresh chive. You can see those little red dots. I spiked mine with a little bit of smoked paprika. And that is it. Mini potato chorizo quiches. Great hot, great room temperature, fast to make. You can put in any ingredients you want. This is definitely something you need in your partay repertoire. Pardon my French. All right? So I hope you give that a try. Head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.